welcome my friends to a new interview from Cuentame, USA with Moncho Camaño, okay? The little thing on top. Today I'm speaking with Samantha Franco, known also as Bara. She's a musician, producer, visual artist, graphic designer, and many more things that we're gonna find out. I'm doing my research and yeah, she does so many things. I don't know. So we have her across the on the other side of the I guess Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
She's in California, I think.
Yep.
So
I'm in Southern California near LA.
near LA.
Yep.
Not far from the city, or maybe yeah,
Not far.
not that far. Half an hour. Well, I don't know. Los Angeles maybe it's 2 hours just to get there. I don't know.
Yeah. Depends
Who
on the
knows?
time of day for sure.
Yeah. So thanks so much for being here. Let me just be sincere about this. I stumbled into your music, Sam, not that long ago, months ago, but not that many.
Hmm.
So it caught me, I have no idea. I listened to your albums, especially the last one, Lesser Gods. I
Hmm.
think that's the latest,
Yeah, that
besides
is.
talking about singles and stuff. But and listen to the EPs that I could find on Spotify. I think that's
Hmm.
where I found
Yeah.
that, so there is a lot of songs that I listen to, and it really caught my attention. And then I do some research, and it was very interesting. So that's the reason we have Samantha here, and so we're going to start from the beginning. When I interview artists, I always go back to the past. Sometimes the artists they say, "Well, I already told the story 25 times, and I have to say it again." Well, say it to the people in Spain or maybe in Madrid or France, who knows, who had no idea who you are yet, like me months ago.
Mhm.
So tell me about your encounters with music. I believe your family comes originally from Mexico, I believe. And I see
Yeah.
Garcia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Spilled the
so
beans. Yeah. My legal name is Garcia.
your legal name. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. But Franco, is that also your last name, Franco?
So Franco's the last name on my mom's side of the family. And I felt like, Garcia is the most common last name in
I
Latino
know.
America. So I definitely
Okay.
wanted something a little bit different. And so I kind of started using it for my stage persona, I suppose. And
Hmm.
this was before I even started doing music. So I have experience with dance and burlesque. So I've been in the performing arts for almost all my life.
Right.
So that's where San Franco came from.
Oh, okay, I see. Your name, it caught my attention, your artist name, Bara, because I had some idea what it meant, but especially Harry,
Hmm.
the Harry part. But when I did my research, what was her name? Theodora, Tira
Yeah.
Harry,
So
right?
there it's actually a combo of two names.
Two names.
So the first one is Theda Bara was one of the most famous silent film actresses.
Hmm.
She was basically one of the first like movie stars. And so that was a stage name for her. And when I first started the project, I actually just wanted to go by like, like Madonna, there's one word. It's just so I was
Right.
Bara. And then I started uploading my stuff to Spotify, and there was like this Russian rapper or something with the same name. So it kept getting uploaded under his profile. And I knew that I
Hmm.
had to kind of change the name a little bit. And like no one else has the last name that I chose. So I chose the second half of the name because it was there was this very famous courtesan slash like exotic dancer at the turn of the century named Matahari.
That's the one
Uh,
I know. Yeah.
yeah, and so like her history is very interesting, and I just like mostly I really liked like the costuming and the kind of like mysterious mystique surrounding that person. So
Hmm.
I thought the combination of the two would be cool. So that's where it came from.
Yeah, that's a cool name. Yeah. So if we go, like we say, we go back to the past. Tell me about your first encounters with listening with music. What kind of music were you listening at you grew up with your parents? Was like just every thing was going on the radio, whatever was playing on the radio, the top 40 music or Mexican music, folkloric,
All of
I don't, all
the
of it in
yeah,
one package or
kind of
something.
all of the above. Yeah, my dad especially really liked a lot of like mariachi, like Vicente Fernandez was played in the house a lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I grew up with that, but he also really liked like Donna Summer and Don Henley and stuff that had like a little bit of like groove to it.
Hmm.
So I grew up listening to that. And then on my mom's side, she was really into mostly like pop music. So a lot of Madonna, ABBA, Bee Gees,
Hmm.
disco pop, that kind of stuff. Um,
Right.
yeah, so that was kind of like neither of my parents had like a extreme interest in music though. Like they like it, but it wasn't like growing up for me when I became a teenager, it became my personality, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
I started finding I listened to a lot of pop music when I was younger. So it was very much like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, that kind of thing.
Right.
But then I found funny enough, Shakira. So when she was doing rock music, I was like, oh,
Uh,
girls can do rock music. And then it kind of
right.
just turned into like an interest in a lot of guitar based. And then I found goth music in high school. So I got very much
Hmm.
into that. And then I started listening to like classic. I just listen to pretty much anything that has good songwriting, good
Hmm.
lyricism, a good beat. Some of my favorites nowadays are like I love Florence and the Machine. That's my favorite band.
Oh, really? Okay.
I really
Yeah,
love
cool.
Tori Amos, Fiona Apple.
Oh man, you like all of them, the ones I like. What is
Yeah,
going
all the
on?
yeah. So I just
Yeah,
really
I
love like
got Fiona Apple. I got
oh yeah,
Tori.
but Kate
I got
Bush.
Kate Bush.
Yep.
I got
Hmm.
Tori Amos. I got my frame of Tori Amos here too. I got
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, very. I'm very.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
like
good. Yeah.
girls with a lot of attitude, I suppose, a lot of feminist topics, a lot of like very intense kind of weird imagery.
Mm.
That's basically like my bread and butter is that like basically all of the ladies on your wall right there, you know?
So for your family, music was more like in the background, just to have fun and entertain, more or less,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So my dad would just tell me stories randomly. He'd be like, "Oh, I saw like Echo and the Bunnymen for like $5 before they were a huge
Whoa.
band." And I'd be like, "What?" They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw them open for Depeche Mode." And I'm like, "What the heck? You like Depeche Mode?" So I mean, he liked some cool stuff, but for him, it was never
Yeah.
like an obsession. For me, it
Yeah.
definitely went like I went
Right.
0 to 100, became
Yeah, yeah,
obsessed with it.
yeah. What about music instruments? Was the piano the first instrument you started playing?
Yeah. So I started taking piano lessons when I was 10.
Mm.
And I didn't want to do that. Like I just wanted to like do ballet classes and gymnastics and like kind of
Okay.
physically express myself.
Mm.
But I am glad now in retrospect that my parents put me in piano lessons for 5 years.
Wow.
But I just like did not, I don't know, maybe it was my teacher because she just didn't seem very enthusiastic for
What
it.
happened to those piano teachers? They're
Yeah.
all the same. They don't look.
Yeah.
Oh no.
She was very religious. And so I was, a lot of the stuff I learned was like, church music and stuff.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to play like Queen or something, I wanted something interesting.
Hmm.
So I did not touch piano till I was 25 again. And then I just
Hmm.
started composing out of nowhere. So I definitely fall in and out of practice with the piano, but that is my
Hmm.
instrument. And I've tried learning guitar several times, but
Hmm.
I don't know, man. Stringed instruments are like a different beast. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, tell me about it.
that's what Ian does. He's my guitarist.
Yeah, Ian Flux. How do you say Flux, right?
Ian Flux, yeah.
Flux, yeah, he's your
Mhm.
partner in crime, I
Yeah,
guess.
he's my partner in crime.
Yeah. So what I guess we could say your background is comes from visual arts and dance.
Hmm. Yeah, it mostly comes from visual arts. I started drawing when I was like 4 years old.
Hmm.
And originally I wanted to pursue a career in visual arts. I wanted to be a portrait artist. I don't know. I wasn't sure. I just really liked drawing. I liked painting, all of that kind of stuff. And then I
Mm,
just kind of felt like I hit a dead end where I just didn't really see like a future in that.
mm.
And so I always loved just like glamorous, glitzy stage performers, and I just knew I wanted to do something related to like being on stage in a cool outfit. You know what I mean?
Which you
So
really do. When I've seen so many of your videos, it's like, you know, whatever
thank
you're
you.
telling me, you're on display on your videos. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I definitely took a like interest in I started modeling. I did a lot of art modeling.
Mm,
Um, and then it led to dance. But I had to stop dancing because I have a back condition, so I couldn't dance anymore.
okay.
But I still always have like found a way to express myself. So I found music when I had a particularly bad year of health.
Okay.
And I had to stop working and I was home a lot and I just felt like I couldn't dance, I couldn't like go out very much. So I started learning how
Mm.
to write songs.
Was
So,
this happening before you met Ian?
so I met Ian a long time ago in
Oh,
2013. Yeah.
oh,
So I
okay.
had already known him for quite a while, but he's the one
Mm,
who taught me how to produce.
okay.
Yeah.
So he guided you more into music, I guess.
Yeah, it was very encouraging for me to
Mm,
try it out.
that's cool.
Yeah.
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 So that's very interesting, especially when I listen to your records and trying to figure out the lyrics, which sometimes is hard to do and it's not even worth it. It's just whatever you feel, it feels,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not as easy. Sometimes it's better not to understand at all, just as long as you
Yep.
feel great about it.
Exactly.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's Ian is your co-producer, I guess, besides being your partner.
Yeah, so he definitely helps produce, especially now because I'm going more in like a rock direction. So there's like a live drummer, he plays guitar and bass. I play the piano. Like we're trying to play more acoustic instruments in the music
Okay.
going forward. I did
Right.
start off doing electronic music because I felt like it was more accessible. I wouldn't say easier, but it's more accessible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was an easy way to get started. But I always knew that I wanted a rock band, basically. Like I
Mm.
wanted like a bigger sound.
Right.
So he has definitely helped. Like I write out I demo all my songs out on like the piano or get it to a certain point now. And Ian helps me with like because I don't
Right.
understand like how guitar theory, I suppose, you know?
Right.
So I kind of give him the general idea and I'll be like, yeah, do this, but like cooler.
So I mean, he correct your work in any way? I guess he does sometimes. Depends.
He does, but I feel like he doesn't have to too much because like I know what I want, you know? So
Right.
I just have a hard time explaining what I want, but I know what I
I mean, so he's involved, but not as much.
he's definitely involved.
Okay.
Especially on like the last album on Lesser Gods,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of songs where he like produced the entire thing.
Okay.
And so like obviously again, not everybody is gonna pick apart all the liner notes and stuff, but I give credit where credit's due, and there are a lot of songs that I produced myself, and then there's co-produced ones, and then there's some that Ian came up with.
Mm. Yeah. Like I said, I listened to that album many, many times
Oh, thank
lately.
you.
Yeah, for the last 2 weeks, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs that I like. Well, I love Violence Rising. I like that
Oh,
one. I
thank you.
like the Tempest.
Yeah.
So many of them. How to say this one? Agoraphobic. Agoraphobic. Agoraphobic.
Agoraphobic. Yeah.
Agoraphobic. You see, this is
Hmm.
bad.
It's okay. It
So
wasn't terrible.
it was close enough.
Yeah, it was close enough.
Close enough. Disaster. Anyway, so if I was gonna ask you, do you think yourself a better singer or a songwriter?
Oh, I wish I was a better singer. Like I have been working on it a lot this year.
Hmm.
Um, but I think I get the job done. You know what I mean? Like, but I am definitely trying to focus and push myself into being a better songwriter. Like a lot of my favorite writers or songwriters, you can read their lyrics and they read like standalone poetry, right?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I know to some people lyrics don't really matter that much. It's just more so about like it sounds good or the beat
Eh,
works or like
Yeah,
whatever.
well,
Uh,
I like lyrics a lot, so you know.
yeah. So for
But
me, I'm focusing more, I guess, on better songwriting.
mm. But you are a great singer too. She got a great voice, so
Thank you.
yeah. So let me tell you guys, if you don't know, check all her discography. But Lesser Gods is the one I listen the most, you know, besides the EPs. But you know, do whatever you like. But you know,
Work backwards. That way you can
yeah.
see
Well,
the evolution.
sometimes I go backwards. Sometimes I go from the present to the past. Sometimes past to the present. Whatever. It doesn't. As long as you listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say, are you creating music the way your heart is telling you, or you are your guide is something else? It's not the music industry.
No, I think for better or for worse, I create music that I want to create, which
Mm,
is kind of a problem sometimes because as you probably are well aware, um, it's very competitive in music, and a lot of times the bands that do better are ones that kind of fit with other ones. That
right.
way, like it's easy to put you on a bill with if there's like five bands that sound like Depeche Mode, you can put them all on the same
Yes.
bill, right? And then it'll be like,
Eh,
oh, more of this, more of
yeah.
this. You
The
like it,
industry
right?
they love genres. The
They
industry.
do, they
Yeah.
do. And I feel like every time I make a body of work, it's very like, oh, well, now I'm gonna do this style of music. You know what I mean? So kind of it it doesn't it doesn't serve me, but I kind of don't care because
Right.
I get really bored. Like if I do a synth pop album, I don't want to do another one. I want to do like something
Right.
different next because why not? It's more
Yeah.
exciting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, unless you're like AC/DC, that you could play the same type of music over a year and they do great, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
people who loves that. For me, it's not the. I love,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
that works when you're like a huge band also because you
Yeah,
know you're a brand at that point and people
yeah,
want to consume that brand and
yeah.
I don't know.
It's
I
not
guess
for
sometimes
me. It's not for me either.
yeah,
You know, I love bands of any genre. You know, death metal or symphonic metal, but I could not listen 12 albums in a row of the discography because it gets to the point that I don't know which one is from the
exactly.
first or the last. It doesn't. I
Yeah.
like, you know, something like David Bowie. I was one of my favorites, still is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like to be amazed by new music. And after
Yeah.
you listen to, you know, the Ziggy Stardust and you listen to Low, it's like the
Yeah.
opposite, you know,
Yeah, but it
or
always sounded
Heroes and
like
stuff.
him, you know?
Yeah, it's
Like
him,
you
but
could always
it's,
tell it was
yeah,
David Bowie and so there was
yeah.
still a connecting kind of
Yeah, but you
a
wanna be,
vision.
yeah, you wanna be surprised by the
Yeah.
albums, you know. You don't wanna
Yeah.
just. So yeah, I agree with that. So regarding your lyrics, I guess the way you write is very real, but sometimes obscure. It's emotional. What are the real occurring subjects you enjoy talking about?
Um reoccurring subjects, I guess like dealing with mental issues or societal problems,
Hmm.
interpersonal relationships, um like sexual
Empowering all
assault.
men. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
definitely calling things out when they need to be called out, maybe sprinkled with a little bit of kind of like symbolism so that it's not so obvious
yeah.
what it's about.
Right.
So yeah, those are kind of the subjects that I seem to kind of always come back to.
Yeah, which I like that.
Yeah.
Patriarchy and stuff. Uh, is I was also on regarding those lyrics. Are you more? Do you write like with a frame in mind, like to produce an album or just singles? Is that what's your?
I mean, to be completely honest, the full album that I did,
Mm,
as a very independent artist, like my whole team is just basically me and Ian,
right.
it became like I didn't realize how bad it was going to burn me out to do a whole album plus like plan all of the videos and
Mm,
the layout for the record and merch and all of that, and like doing every single bit of all of that was so tiring that that album came out 2 years ago and I'm still like, oh, that came out, a
yeah.
little while ago. Right. But so last year was focused on singles because I
Right.
didn't, I just did not have the gas in me to be like, I'm gonna make a whole other album. But I am finalizing another EP right now, so
Okay.
hopefully that'll be out before the end of the year.
All right.
But there will definitely be at least like a couple singles out from
Yeah.
that EP sometime this year. So I
Mm,
think I think it's very hard as an independent artist to make an entire album and then make and market it so
right.
that it gets heard and sold and all of that. So I realized that maybe EPs are the better way to go because
Mm,
it's not just like single after single feels a little bit boring to me, but
mm.
EPs are like a manageable amount of songs where it's like 5 to 6 songs, so you can
Yeah.
get them
Yeah.
in
You
every
put out
single.
how many EPs? Two that I know of.
Yeah, I
Right.
have two EPs and then a full album and then a few singles.
Yeah, the singles, the latest ones I've been listening to, it caught my attention is that, well, that Fade Into You cover you did of Massey Star.
Yeah.
Did you choose her, Hope Sandoval, because her parents also from Mexico, or has nothing to do with that?
No,
Or just because you love the Massey Star and Hope? I don't know.
it it was that, and it was also a combo of my this is really sweet but like weird. My dog died like a year and a half ago. And
Hmm.
there's this really sweet video of Ian playing Fade Into You on the guitar to him.
Oh,
And it was like this video of like him just like swaying his head while Ian's playing the guitar. And so that song to me always reminds me of my
okay.
dog. So it
uh,
was very like sentimental. Um, and yeah, we just thought it would be cool to do like a kind of
yeah, I thought there was
ethereal
some
version.
connection. I thought there was
Yeah.
some connection because of her Hope's, So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but yeah, I actually didn't know that her parents were from
Yeah,
Mexico as well.
Mexican American. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
followed them quite some time in the 90s. I'm an
Hmm.
old guy. So the 90s is like so. Yeah, I was very fan of them. Well, she's still around, but
Yeah.
the guy, what's his name? David Roback. He
Hmm.
passed away. So, but anyway,
Oh,
yeah, he passed away in 2020, I think it was.
yeah. But she still has her solo project, right?
Yeah, she's still around. So she's
Hmm.
very shy.
Yeah.
Very shy.
I read somewhere that she would perform with her back facing to the audience in the dark.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She went to Australia, played some shows in the dark, and a lot of people weren't happy about that. They couldn't see her, so they left. That's what I
What?
heard. That's
That's
what
so
I read.
silly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, uh, that's how it is. But I listened to that single. But there was I read a single I listened to, "Do the Right Thing." It's an instrumental piece. Is that Ian's creation? It's very
Oh, it
electronic.
was Do the Thing Again.
Ah, okay, I got it
Yeah, that's
wrong.
what it was called. Yeah, so Ian also works sometimes with our friend Travis has a production company. They do like short horror movies called
Okay.
Slash Tag Cinema. And one of the people involved, his name is Kyle, um, is like making his own short films as well.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a little collective of people here in LA that are acting, they're writing, producing films.
Hmm.
And they asked Ian to score it, and it was probably I think it was like a 5 minute video.
Okay.
So he's starting to build up like the like score work. And he figured he would put it on Spotify, so that's
Yeah,
probably
I
why you
listened
saw
to
it.
that one. I really enjoyed that piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about that other single that I listened to, Sunrise, for the project with all those female singers?
Oh yeah.
The feature is called
Yeah, featured is a his name is Julian Beeston. He's a producer in
right.
LA. Yeah, and we recorded that song like 2 years ago. Yeah, so it
Hmm.
finally came out. I didn't write it, I just sang on it. So
Right. You did a
all
great
the
job.
credit,
I really love the way you
yeah.
sing on that
The
one.
choir at the end
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
like I was not expecting that, but it was gorgeous.
yeah, yeah. So I've been listening to all those singles you put out, and I really enjoyed them. There is also the main thing. I've been spending some couple hours seeing your videos,
Hmm.
and they are very interesting. You wear beautiful dresses. And costumes that you do yourself, or you're like so I don't know if you took some you were fashion designer classes, or how do you all those dresses used to look like a Spanish Queen Isabella sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, definitely the inspiration.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many different dresses, and they always catch your attention. So
Yeah.
how do you come up with all these dresses? You have where do you get the fabrics and all that? I don't know. For me it's like
Like a foreign language. Um,
yeah.
so funny enough, my great aunt, Rebecca, she's lived in Mexico her whole life, and she was like the most popular wedding dress maker in the
Oh,
town that my mom grew up in.
okay.
So I grew up with her like sewing with her Victorian sewing machine and like these
Oh, okay.
beautiful dresses. And my mom also sews. So when I was younger, she would make us like my sister and I, she would make us like these, cute matching dresses and coats and like whatever we wanted her to make. If she had the
Hmm.
time, she would make for us. And then it was another one of those things with me being a stubborn, stupid kid. And she wanted to teach me how to do it. And I was like, oh, that's boring. I don't want to learn how to
Right.
do that. So I basically taught myself later on in life in my early 20s. I was dancing, so dance costumes are very expensive, so I kind of started off with like buying pieces that are existing and then modifying them, so like sewing fringe onto things or putting rhinestones or like whatever.
Hmm.
And then I had some downtime. I had a surgery in 2016, and I it took me 3 months to heal, so I wasn't working or anything.
Hmm.
And I had watched that movie by Guillermo del Toro,
Del Toro. Yeah.
Crimson Peak.
Oh, okay.
So it has like these really elaborate costumes, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool to make one of those for Halloween? And I had never like sewed an entire garment before,
Hmm.
but I figured let's try it out. And in retrospect, it's a mess. The dress that I made is a total mess. But I decided I wanted to learn how to make entire garments,
Hmm.
not just like
Yeah.
alterations.
Yeah, it seems like
So
that you really enjoy wearing these dresses from the past sometimes.
yeah,
Like
I
a
just feel
character,
it.
playing a
Yeah,
character. Yeah.
exactly. I'm really interested in especially Renaissance fashion. I watched the movie Romeo and Juliet from 1968. I think it was Franco Zeffirelli movie.
Hmm.
I saw that movie when I was about 14, and I just thought, oh my God, the costumes are so beautiful. So I've
Right.
always had a soft spot for Renaissance clothes, medieval clothing, anything that has just like a little bit of romanticism to it.
Right.
Yeah, so
So
I,
yeah. So all these ideas are coming from film and cult and literature, I guess we could say. Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. And you really take pleasure playing these characters in your videos, right?
Yeah. I guess it's kind of a security blanket,
Yeah.
where it's like it's not me, it's a
Yeah.
character.
Right. Yeah.
I think a lot of artists do that.
Yeah, of course. You are a
Yeah.
very, I guess, thoughtful artist when creating your videos because they're very nice. How much did you that church you made a couple videos on in that church which is in California? Where is that church where was it temp? What do you? I don't remember if it was
The Violence Rising one
Violence
where
Rising. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
are you talking about the one where I have the red dress and
yeah,
the
yeah,
long hair?
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so that's actually funny enough. That is in LA. That is somebody's house.
Oh,
Yeah, so it is, do you know the singer Jackson Brown?
of course, it's
Yeah,
from the
that's Jackson
70s. Yeah.
Brown's family's
Get out of here.
house.
Of
Yeah. So
wow. So,
his brother lives there, right? And rents it out to a lot of bands have filmed videos there.
oh.
So it's very interesting. It's built to look like an abbey.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls it the Abbey. It's been used in a lot of movies as well. And so it has a chapel in it where you see the organ and the stained glass windows. And then it has a
Wow.
courtyard with a well. And then the other rooms in the courtyard are bedrooms. And so
Hmm.
there's a scene where there's like a stained glass window. That's his
Right.
bedroom.
Oh, I thought it was a church.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so they do have events there. They have like music nights and stuff. It's a beautiful building. So and
Yes.
it's crazy that it's right there in Los Angeles.
Wow. Hmm.
Hmm.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I was going to ask you another question. Do you speak Spanish?
Sí, un
Un
poquito.
poquito. Okay, enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't talk too much. Maybe you get grabbed by, a bunch of guys and take you somewhere.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I speak a little I like I said before we started the interview, Spanish was my first language.
Yeah.
I didn't learn English until I went to school
Yeah.
because I spent a lot of time with my grandmothers, my mom's side and my dad's side.
I know you could sing in Spanish because that cover of La Llorona,
La Llorona.
I also
Yeah,
from Chabela Vargas.
yeah.
It's perfect. It's really nice. So.
Thank you. But I definitely, my family always used to make fun of me for my pronunciation.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where like I used to work in the service industry. So a lot of people that work in the kitchen usually speak Spanish. So I was very fluent at the time, but I haven't used Spanish in a long time. And it just went like that.
Mm,
I used to speak French fluently as well, but
mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a
me too.
while.
Me
Yeah,
too. I used to speak French when I was like
really.
16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
With the French tourists when they came to my area in Spain, I would talk to them. Now I
What
cannot.
part of Spain are you from?
I'm from Galicia, from northwest
Oh,
part.
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I used to speak. Well, I was doing well in French, but then years pass, and then you only know a couple sentences and you forget.
Exactly.
That's about it. But
Yeah.
it's nice. So, have you ever thought of moving, living California, or have you ever lived in any other states?
Um, I've never lived in any other states.
Mm.
The only other places I've lived is I went to school in Paris for a little while, and then
Mm.
I've lived in Mexico with my family for, on and off. But yeah, I'm California born and raised, and
Mm.
then, I think it's kind of cliche that a lot of people that grow up in California, they go, oh, I'm so bored of it. I want to go somewhere where there's
Yeah.
seasons and all of that. And then you go somewhere else and you're like, oh, I miss California.
Yeah, California.
Yeah. So especially since we're like, in this current political climate, I'm like, I'm probably gonna stay in California
Yeah.
forever.
Well, I'm telling my friends in Europe, but don't come. And just don't come.
Yeah.
Just stay there
No.
for now.
I'm like California and
Stay
New
there.
York are basically like the only two places that are,
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can come to New Jersey yet. We still got a Democratic governor. Still, who knows?
yeah, who knows? No,
Who
New
knows
Jersey's cool. Yeah.
who knows
I
what's
think
gonna
New
happen?
Jersey is kind of like the California of the East
Yeah.
Coast, right?
I'm happy where I am right now. Mhm.
Good.
Yeah, I have. I have go to Spain, so every year I got a house
Yeah.
over there. So
Oh, nice. And it's
yeah,
not as
yeah,
far, so it's like 6 hour plane ride,
yeah.
right?
6 hour. Yeah,
Not bad.
it's fine. I go to the beach and the
Yeah.
ocean and all that. So I
See,
enjoy that.
that's the dream.
Yeah,
Like having, a house over there and then your
yeah,
home base here.
yeah, yeah. From in Jersey, where I just open the door and I see a house, I see my neighbors. When I open the door in Spain, I see the ocean and the ships and the
Yeah.
yachts. So it's a different
Wow.
view from the kitchen,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
different view.
And
So,
that's really nice, but I'm sure you sometimes like you need the balance where you get bored and you're like, there's nothing to do.
well, let me tell you, when I'm in the kitchen in my house, like I go get up in the morning, have my breakfast, and I look at the window and I see the fishing boats and the big mountain behind, and it's
Hmm.
beautiful, right? Nice blue sky, beautiful. My
Hmm.
wife sometimes says, it's a beautiful view every morning, but it's always the same. I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean it's always the same? It's a beautiful view. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's sunshine. No, but it's you get bored.
Yeah, you do.
After so many days seeing the same thing, you want to go somewhere else and look other things. So you're never
Exactly.
happy.
Also, there's never a dull moment when you're in a place that's compactly populated,
Yeah,
like especially living in like in Los Angeles and there's
yeah.
just like there's craziness going on at all times. And sometimes when you leave it, when you're in it, you're just like, God, it's so stressful, like awful. And then you leave it and you're just like, this is boring,
The
you
same
know?
thing happens to me, Sam. When I go to
Yeah.
Spain, a small towns, everybody knows me,
Hmm.
and but then you see the next day you see the same people again, and it's like
Yeah.
they already
And they
where
all
you
know your
they
business.
don't know what are you doing, where are you going, why are you doing. Why do you want to know where I'm going? They want to know everything.
Yeah.
They're like those Italian old ladies looking in the balcony and see where everybody's going. So it gets
Yeah.
to the point that sometimes you want to come here and nobody cares about what you do.
Nobody cares. Yeah, that's the funny part.
Yes.
It's funny how Americans get made fun of by Europeans because when we make small talk in public, so
Right.
you go to the grocery store and the person next to you wants to talk to you and you're just like, "Oh God, leave me alone."
Yeah.
But then so like Europeans make fun of that. But then when you go to Europe, they don't do that in the stores, but they're nosy everywhere else.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's the same thing but in reverse.
Yes. Of course. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about playing live shows. Do you have like a visual background or on display on a screen when you play, or it's something that you want to do?
So that's something I want to do. I started my project in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
that long ago. So I started releasing singles back then, but I decided I absolutely hated them. So I deleted them and I started fresh in 2020. And then you know what happened. So
Right.
nobody was playing live for a long time.
Mm.
So even though I've been doing it for this long, I only started playing live last year. So I've only done 4 shows total in like my whole
Mm-hmm.
career, I guess. And they've all been in, very, very small venues without really the opportunity or time to really have anything interesting visually going
Mm-hmm.
on. So I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I would love to. I would love to, have candles on stage or some kind of visuals or interesting
Right.
lighting, just like something so that you're not just staring at me the whole time. Because it's very hard to entertain people when it's just a two-piece up there.
Right. Right. There's not much room to hide when you're only at one
No,
or two performers.
exactly. And it's also just like I think it makes the overall presentation more interesting when there are like at least lighting, like Fact Pattern, Ian's band has at least cool lighting. Like they have their own lighting system they program with the songs.
Right.
And so it looks cool and they have a banner and like all of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I don't have that yet. And I would love to eventually, but it's just I need more live shows in order to invest money into
Right.
whatever lighting or visuals I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Are you a talker between songs? Do you mind doing that, talking between the songs, or you just want to play your songs and be done with?
I would love to get better at banter. I admittedly I get a lot of stage fright. I get very shy.
Hmm.
So I think that when I try to talk, I just like sound like an idiot and I say things
just
that
like
like
just like me.
like I don't make like I think I'm trying to make a joke, but it just falls flat. I don't know, whatever. So I'm like, I need to train myself on how to do that. So there's like a little bit of talking, but I don't know. I feel like people like, do people like that when they don't know who you are? Are they just like, oh, who's this idiot? Like they think I care about what they're having, what they say, you
A
know?
lot of people do. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
care. It's
Yeah. Like
half and half, I guess.
I feel like people like it when they know the band because they're
Mm.
already like, I love this band. I love what they say.
No, no matter what they say, is good. It's right. Once they know,
Exactly.
yeah, you could say all the bullshit you want, and
Exactly.
they will applaud you for that. Then you
Exactly.
say nobody knows you. You say the right things, then nobody cares.
There you go. That's what I'm
Right?
saying. Yeah. So I guess I'll work my way up to
You
it.
got
You got to earn the reputation first.
Yeah, yeah. So of these new songs you are composing, where are you taking your Bara musically? Are you leaning more like to more acoustic, more like electronic, uh, more folky? What kind of music is on your radar right now?
So I'm taking it to the 60s. So
Ooh.
I'm very much into bands like The Doors.
Hmm.
And I also really love girl groups like the Ronettes. I love like anything with like organs or tambourines or just kind of like a like psychedelic beats.
Okay, that's cool.
So I really got inspired by the soundtrack to Only Lovers Left Alive, if you've seen that film.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of like
Oh.
psychedelic world instruments. It's got a little bit of post rock influence in it.
Hmm.
It's just very like very jazzy rock and roll. I don't know, kind of like dark psychedelia, I guess. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
cool.
doing
That's cool.
next.
Love
Yeah.
I always love the Doors and the psychedelic Ray Manzarek playing the keyboards. It looks like a circus to
Yeah.
me when sometimes when I listen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he was a great organ player for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. That's a good idea. That would be something I'll be looking for you to produce and publish, I guess. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I saw one of your postings. I've been following you on Instagram,
Hmm.
lately. Well, see what's going on with your life a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say everything,
Oh
but
no.
just a little bit, just tiny
Yeah.
things, tiny things. You're mentioning something about making a video called Iron Heart that you were
Oh
planning
yeah.
to make.
Oh yeah.
I know some of yours saying how hard it is to be unique nowadays,
Yeah.
something like that, to come up with new ideas and
Yeah.
create your visuals. You don't want to copy other artists' ideas and all that,
Mm.
right? So that's something that you really don't want to do.
No. So I mean, I know that it's always been that way where really no original idea. We're all just getting inspired by things that already happened, right? But it's your
Right.
interpretation of it that makes it unique. But I think now, like, we think things from the past are unique because we didn't see the other people that were doing it. We only saw the
Right.
people that were successful that had the budget doing it. And
Right.
so we associate that with the artist that presented it, you know?
Yeah.
Like when Madonna performed in Rococo dresses like Marie Antoinette, it was like, oh, that's Madonna's thing. She did the Marie
Yeah.
Antoinette, but you
Yeah.
don't know if anyone else that was a smaller artist did that because they weren't Madonna.
Right.
So I feel like that's always happened. And even her idea was not original,
Yeah.
it's from the past. But
Of course.
nowadays, where anybody can have access to making a music video, it especially with like the short form content or like Instagram, like anything where people are just constantly sharing visual imagery,
Hmm.
um, you're bound to see everything all the time. And I had this idea, and it wasn't even that unique to begin with, but I figured like I can make this heart, I can make this corset, whatever. And then it was very weird to see Aurora as an artist that I actually really like. She's really good.
Hmm.
And then I saw that picture and I was just like, what are the odds that
Yeah.
it's like all exactly the same thing? Um, you know what I mean? Because it's not like I saw it happening. It was just
Right.
like I was in the process of making it, and then I scrolled through Instagram, like, wait, what? And so it's just a
Yeah,
weird coincidence that
yeah,
unfortunately just kind of sucks because, Aurora is a huge artist. I am not. So if I do it, then it will appear to people as I just
yeah,
took the idea from her
yeah,
and then did it
yeah, yeah.
myself. And so I just am like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. So it
Yeah, I saw that. It
happens.
was funny. It was funny when I saw that. It's like even with music, you hear a harmony or something, and you say maybe this I heard somewhere else, and I didn't originate it from my brain. It was somebody
Yeah.
else, and I think it's mine, but it's not. I heard it somewhere. So sometimes
Hmm.
it's like something like that.
Yeah, it
So
happens.
yeah, it happens. So that's funny. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Sometimes when I interview artists, I come up with this same thing, but sometimes I don't. But I think it's a good idea for you. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm going to name five artists bands, very popular, so impossible not to recognize. So
Okay.
you're gonna tell me in order of your predilection from 1 to 5, right? One being the one you like the most, and five the one you like the least,
Hmm.
and you tell me.
So I have to put them in order of like my
Yeah,
favorite. Okay.
right. From 1 to 5. If you don't like this list, I give you a different one.
Okay.
Okay, let's start. We'll start with why not? Massey Star.
Okay.
Maxi Star. Number
Okay.
two will be David Bowie. Number two.
Okay.
Number three is gonna be Evanescence.
Okay.
Number four is gonna be Tori Amos.
Okay.
Okay, and number five is gonna be REM. All popular, so
Okay.
make it easy, for you. I could give you other ones, but yeah, I think that's
Okay.
for you. It's just to so from 1 to 5, which one you like the most and the least? Maybe you don't like any. No, it's
I like
impossible to
all of
like
them,
any of them.
honestly.
Okay.
So, I'd say number one, Tori Amos.
Number.
Uh,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. Number two, David Bowie.
Okay.
Number three, Evanescence.
I
That
knew
band
you
gets
were
a
gonna.
lot of that band gets a lot of shit. But you know what? There's a lot of good songs.
She's a cool lady, I believe. Okay.
Yeah, great singer, great
Yeah.
pianist. Actually, she's the one that inspired me to get better at the piano. So,
Really?
there's
Okay.
that.
All
Yeah.
right. So number three. Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. And then after that would be Massey Star.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the last one would be REM.
REM number 5. Okay.
Yeah, because I only know the hits of REM. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I agree with the first and the second one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes for me, Tori Amos is number one. Sometimes David Bowie is number one. So it depends.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've been inspired in some way by all of them. So
Yeah.
it's a good
Yeah. That's
list.
that's good. I had different ones. I said, nah. I was
Yeah.
gonna mention Garbage and Stone Temple Pilots and that,
Ooh, well,
and Saint Vincent, but I said, leave
yeah.
them alone. Leave them
Well,
for.
Garbage inspired my last album a lot.
Yeah.
So
Oh well,
yeah.
well.
So I do love Garbage. And
Okay.
Shirley Manson's a very down to earth person. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
also cool.
She's cool. She does. Great. So okay, now I have an idea more or less.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you know, like I said, it's really cool. Listen to her albums, the EPs. Go to YouTube and you can spend a couple hours watching her videos. Do that. It's, you can subscribe to her channel.
Yes, please.
It doesn't cost much. It's free so far.
Yeah, it's
It
free.
may change later on. Who knows? So
Yeah.
do it now.
Get in on the ground floor.
Yeah, go to Instagram while you can, and Facebook. You can find her in TikTok also. You can find her everywhere.
Yep.
Bandcamp,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
She's in Bandcamp. She's I don't know where else. You can listen on Spotify, Amazon
Yeah, it's fun.
Music.
I'm on everything.
It's not
Apple
like
Music.
she's not around. It's not hard to do. You don't have to go to a record store and go through the albums and see if you find her. It's not like that
No.
anymore. So you know, you could do it in 1 second, 2 seconds. You could click, you know, and listen to her music and watch her videos, and then you call me, send me a message, and say, "Ah, she's really good. I really have no idea who she was." Then if you tell me something different, don't even bother. Don't send me
If you
anything.
don't like it, just don't tell me.
Yes, if you don't like it, just Don't even bother sending me anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so do that. So I just wanna, you know, I'm gonna be waiting for her new singles, whatever she comes up with. By the end, before the end of the year, maybe we have an EP, like she's telling me, and with new sounds. And I just want to wish her all the best
Thank you.
because she's a great artist, and that's I got really good taste. People that see my
You
videos,
do.
they know I got good taste. Come on, I do. I got a lot of I listen to a lot of music. I got so much time. I told them also I spend maybe 7 hours a day listening to music, sometimes six.
Wow.
Then podcasts,
Hmm.
then news. But lately I'm getting very angry, So I'm
Yep.
trying not to listen to hear much. But sometimes I don't want to talk about politics, but it,
Yeah,
it makes
no.
me.
It's a whole other
I'm
podcast.
really pissed off right now.
Yeah.
My head is gonna explode soon if I keep.
Yeah.
Well, just leave it for the side. Just so I want. I like I say, I have a lot of time, so I listen to a lot of music, and I love the new artists, and the ones that nobody is paying attention because sometimes they don't pay attention because they don't click or they don't know. It only takes 2 seconds. You go on Spotify and you click or you don't click, and it's done. Maybe you won't see her again, or you won't see any artist that you just missed. Even in YouTube. I don't even remember how I found out about Bara. I have no idea. It could be YouTube, a video, and I click. If I don't click, that's it. It's done. It's gone. Maybe I won't know anything about her. So that's all it
Yeah.
takes, right?
I'm glad you found me. However you
Yeah,
found me.
I don't know how I did. So, like I said, check her out. Bandcamp, TikTok, Threads, anywhere she's around.
Hmm.
And it's very important to keep alive artists like you. So, people with integrity.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
For a Spanish guy, integrity sounds great. So, it was a pleasure talking to you. And hopefully, one day I'll see you around.
You as well. Thank you so much.
So, have a great time and enjoy the rest of the year. And is being healthy is very important to make music. If you're not healthy, you don't feel like doing anything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
that's what we need. And guys, if you want to watch this interview many times, go ahead because the next one is not that great. Just kidding. See you later next week. Take care, my friends, and goodbye, Samantha.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.